straight into it, right? We're gonna talk about the elephant in the room, Bybit, the recent hack.
Bybit was hacked for $1.4 billion.
I wanna know your personal take on the whole situation, and where does Hacken fall in the midst of this whole thing?
Bybit will not have any solvency problems. Stop the FUD, stop the FUD, it's not FTX 2.0, it's like everything will be fine. The safe product was the one that was compromised. It's absolutely not a fault of Bybit or Ben or any of their security.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Hash It Over podcast, presented to you by the Unchained Summit. Don't forget, the Unchained Summit is happening in Dubai this year in April 28th and 29th of April. My name is Saif. I'm going to be your host for today's session, and I'm joined by the man himself, Mr. Budorin, Dyma, the CEO and co-founder of Hacken. Thank you very much for
Hello. Thank you for inviting. Hi.
coming into the show. Today we're going to talk about, everything blockchain, everything cybersecurity. We're going to talk about regulations. We're going to talk about, your headquarters city, Abu Dhabi, and we're going to talk about, what the future holds for Hacken in today's episode. You actually happen to be my very first guest on the show.
Thanks.
So thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
Now, straight into it, right? We're going to talk about the elephant in the room, Bybit, the recent hack. $1.5 billion was stolen from the exchange. And you guys claim to be one of the biggest, cybersecurity firms or auditing firms when it comes to crypto exchanges. I want to know your personal take on the whole situation. And where does Hacken fall in the midst of this whole thing?
All right, thank you. So first of all, our involvement, then maybe my personal thought. So our involvement is that since 2018, we were screaming about proof of reserves, about transparency of the wallets of the exchanges and their liabilities. And we were doing a lot of researches, investigations, and so on. And especially during FTX, we were already warning people, the crowd, that the reserves were tanking. And luckily, a lot of exchanges wanted to be transparent, and they were voluntarily doing proof of reserves. And for a lot of exchanges, we were doing it. And one of the clients was Bybit. And we did proof of reserve for them for the last maybe half year or maybe 1 year. And we were doing regular snapshots of their liabilities, of their assets, of their loans. And once the thing happened, I was at the plane, and I was very tired going from consensus, and I saw my phone was started to alarming, like boom, 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 boom. And it's like when the ETH security chat is starting to alarm, I understand that something happened. I was like, okay, I will have another 20 minutes of rest, and then I will read the messages. And that's exactly what happened. And we saw, okay, Bybit 1.5. Immediately I contacted my team. I asked my team to make very prompt analysis of all the assets that they have and liabilities that they have, and try to understand whether it is the risk for their solvency. And they did the analysis, they did the assessment, they started to look into the assets, wallets, and the speed how people that were withdrawing the funds. And we reached out to conclusion that there is no solvency threat, that they will be able to cover this huge loss with their assets. And we made the statement, like even without Ben replying to us in our joint chats, that Bybit will not have any solvency problems. Stop the FUD, stop the FUD, it's not FTX 2.0, it's like everything will be fine. Then Ben replied to us, then we started to make official statement from the Hacken account, then we did another proof of reserve basically on every 6 hours, because not only like the public wanted it, but also the regulators, and we were having sleepless nights creating this proof of reserves attestations to Bybit, and I think it played quite important role since the trust to Bybit and their solvency was from basically the second hour of incident went public.
Absolutely. I mean, they got out of it beautifully. They recovered all these losses using their own personal funds. I remember watching an interview with the co-founder just recently, and he literally called up the CFO while this whole thing was happening. And he was like, hey, listen, with the funds that we have, with the reserves that we have in Bybit, can we recover those losses, open up the deposits for people and just continue seamlessly? And he was like, yes. He was like, okay, go ahead, do it. So it was really nicely done, I have to say.
Yeah, and if you talk, and then the first question, what is my thought about it? So obviously, from what we know, from what the official investigation says, is that it's absolutely not a fault of Bybit or Ben or any of their security initial setup. Like they were relying on the like industry recognized multi-sig infrastructure, safe,
Yeah.
and the safe product was the one that was compromised. When Bybit team was signing the transactions, they saw the transactions that on their front end are the ones that they supposed to sign. Of course, a lot of people can say that you have to set up the test environment, you have to have like kind of second way to look into the transactions that you are signing, not just rely on the third party front end. Of course, you can, but this is something that we as decentralized community have to like clearly like look at it separately. So we have facts.
Mm-hmm.
So exchange who set up like accordingly to the marketing and product materials of safe, Gnosis safe, everything properly, they are victim of the most biggest lost funds in history, 1.5 billion. They did everything right, while Gnosis safe, the company who has in treasury around $500 million, they are the ones who were hacked and who had bad security practices. They didn't lose anything, like nothing, zero. So we as decentralized community was the people in mindset to build more fair and transparent economy. Are we okay with that? Are there any leaders of Gnosis Safe or leaders of Gnosis community going to at least create the DAO proposal to compensate at least something to Bybit? I would like to see it because this is unfair to me. Like Gnosis Safe has to pay for such huge hack. And if there is no such, I would say, fair action, then why all other exchanges and like custodials have to follow decentralization principles when they bear so huge risk? They will just go for centralized system. They will go for private blockchain to keep their liquidity. While the private blockchain can be reversed or whatever, and this can be a solution. We already hear like old OG guys transferring their crypto from the cold wallets to Bitcoin ETFs. We already hear the stories. So with this particular Gnosis Safe hack, it's just we're gonna make another step towards centralized solutions, and that's probably okay.
All right. I'm glad that you guys are on it. You've been analyzing it, and you're taking extra precautions, extra measures, and implementation of new rules, if you will, that could hopefully save up future crypto exchanges from such thefts.
Well, I mean, there are, of course, we issued guidelines what could have been preventing this from such a huge loss, even though the front end of Gnosis Safe was compromised. But in general, I mean, there is too much risks, and I think that's we are more and more centralized exchanges. They will try to find the solution how to keep the custody on private blockchains which cannot be hacked.
I mean, risks will always be there,
Oh, if you have the private blockchain, if you have the private stablecoin layer, you just go and swap all your USDT, USDC, Ether into this layer, and that's it. Even if Northern Koreans will hack this layer, then you can revert the transactions, and that's it. And so I think we are in the beginning of very big centralization movement in crypto.
Right. Okay. Well, now that we've got that out of the way, we spent about 10 minutes talking about the Bybit hack. I wanna take a few steps backward, right? Let's talk about your early beginnings. Started off in the auditing firm of Deloitte into now building what is known as one of the top, if not the top, auditing firms in the blockchain, cybersecurity industry, especially when it comes to crypto exchanges. Tell me about your early beginning and what was that transitional moment into building your own empire?
Empire. Like
it is an empire.
Like Vitalik said, don't build empire, build tools. And I really follow this. It's better to cooperate with different brands and bring value.
Right, 100%.
To become a monopoly. Yeah, I mean, like I was passionate about crypto, and after Deloitte, I went to work for Ukrainian government, and I didn't like it there because it was too slow, it's not innovative, a little bit of bureaucracy, if not to say the different word. And I think it was luck. We really wanted to create the crypto project, and we were like already like a team, cybersecurity team, but it was luck. We participated in one quite big event in Kiev. We won the second prize. We won 33 bitcoins, and with this money, and like the guy from the stage, from the jury, he offered us $500,000 investments, and we were like, "Oh my god, is this happening for real?" And with this money, we made some marketing campaign, and we managed to gather some not very big funds, but enough funds to start hacking and
all right,
come where we are right now. But generally, it was.
So it wasn't planned. It wasn't something that you envisioned in the future. I mean, obviously, it's something that was.
We really believed in this. Okay. But if, for example, there was no pitch and competition like this, I don't think we would be
get to this point.
Yeah. There's no chance.
All right.
So I believe in luck, but I believe that luck comes to the passionate guys and hardworking ones.
100%. I mean, I was just about to say that maybe it was just the right time, the right opportunity all together, and that was the beginning of Hacken. Now, you guys recently, Q3 last year, opened up your regional offices in Abu Dhabi. Why Abu Dhabi? Why ADGM? Especially now that you've touched upon working with the Ukrainian government and how it was a bit too slow, a lot of bureaucracy over there. How is it different from this part of the world, specifically Abu Dhabi?
It's very different. So ADGM is it's famous because it's one of the most innovative regulator in the space. Like every time I remember one conference, I was attending one corporate conference in Great Britain, in London, and I don't remember the name, it was Financial Times something. And that was the moment when I was deciding like where to make a next move for myself and Hacken. And at that conferences, I hear a lot of people putting ADGM as an example, and British people like as the most innovative and fast-moving regulator, not only in Web3 but fintech and AI. And I was like, okay, so I'm in London listening about Abu Dhabi regulator. Probably this is a sign. So
Have you been to Abu Dhabi like
yeah,
before that?
yeah,
Okay.
I was before that for sure. Yeah, so we met the people. We understand their intentions. We understand. We see how helpful they are. We see that they are listening. They are because obviously we probably have a little bit more experience knowing the industry, knowing the risks of the industry, and so what should be the measures and what should be the fair regulation that doesn't stop the innovation and makes the scammers like life more difficult.
Yeah, yeah.
So they listen, they build together, they move fast, and
This is what I've heard actually from multiple people who opened up their offices in Abu Dhabi is that, you know, the guys over there, the regulators, they acknowledge that this is the early stages of building something absolutely huge, you know, worldwide and having a global impact. And they are willing to listen to crypto and blockchain and cybersecurity OGs like yourself to be like, okay, let's put the dots together and then build something massive that will benefit each and every single individual involved.
yeah, absolutely. So you are, if you have ideas, you can come to them. They will listen, and if it makes sense, they will put a lot of efforts to implement them, and that's already what they did
Yeah.
with us together. And
How-
we have a lot of other ideas, of course. Yeah,
How do you see cities like Abu Dhabi and Dubai, of course, plays a huge role in the blockchain industry worldwide. How do you see cities like Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and the UAE in general influencing the global blockchain ecosystem?
I think it's easier to make change from Abu Dhabi simply because Dubai has a lot of traffic. A lot of traffic on the roads, in the VARA cabinets, a lot of traffic within the investors, and it takes time to clean this traffic. And people who are like decision makers, for them, it's very energy. They have to consume a lot of energy to just to clean this traffic, to understand where is the legit ideas and where not. While with ADGM, I think people already like come in there when they have reputation. When they don't have reputation, they just don't even try to come there. So I think the change is the more flexible in terms of the change are ADGM guys. But in general, my personal opinion is that it's still like Emirate level and economic free zone level. It's still not federal level.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I understand, how the Emirates want to move, so they in few years the SCA will implement like the country rules, the federal level rules on the crypto regulation, and then those rules already will be will take the best of VARA and ADGM and Rasam High, and those rules already will kind of become one of the global standards that a lot of other countries will adopt as their acceptable regulation in their regions.
Well, looking forward to it. For someone who was born and raised in the UAE and have seen, you know, the development and the progress, especially of the blockchain industry, rapidly growing in the last couple of years, I'm really keen to see the evolvement of this industry in this part of the world. Now, moving on from regulators, ADGM, Abu Dhabi, and so on, and your headquarters, I want to talk about the Web3 space for a bit, AI, the involvement of AI in cybersecurity. What do you think of the current state of the Web3 ecosystem from a cybersecurity perspective?
I think we are doing, of course, like you cannot say we're doing a great job after the Bybit hack, obviously. But
Did that backfire you when it
not
comes to
really.
your B2B business with other clients?
No, I mean not really.
Okay.
It's like we're not a security OPSEC auditor of Gnosis Safe. It's like the problem there is very clear. It's like they did a very bad job in the operational security. It's not even Web3 security. So, but this means that companies have to invest way more into cybersecurity, and the proper supply chain cybersecurity could pick that up for sure. And this is something that companies are not doing. Like we still live in in the industry when we need to do just a smart contract audits and we are safe. No, it's not. So proper like we were always like, it's one of the things that I want to do with the regulators is to have proper dashboards where where we invest our time, or like AI tools that we build, like constantly monitoring the infrastructure or of this and that project, and it gives the scores of their infrastructure in terms of security. It's like if it's complicated, if it requires some complicated supply chain interactions with different companies, then the regulator have to know the risks, and he has to ask questions like, what did you do so that, like, for example, Bybit, we give you a license, you operate here. Okay, what's multis? How you keep your cold wallets? Okay, you do keep it on Gnosis Safe. Okay, what do you do with what Gnosis Safe does to secure these funds, and what are their critical risks of Gnosis Safe failure? Okay, but Bybit doesn't have these answers. These answers have to be provided by Gnosis Safe. And the regulator didn't deep this dive because he doesn't have the tools to monitor it. And once it has, then there will be a pressure on Gnosis Safe, and then Gnosis Safe will do way better job, and then we will have less hacks. So there is a lot of generally for us is good that such extraordinary events happening, but our industry, unfortunately, is it's very slow for like like after FTX,
Right.
like we only few centralized exchanges have the proof of reserve. If such thing happened, for example, I don't know, the I don't want to like point fingers, but you can tell a lot of exchanges
I agree.
and brokers who doesn't have proof of reserve. If this thing happened
It's
with
over.
them, it's over.
It's over.
Yeah. Even like with less, even just if they lose, like if they have only, let's say, 200 million worth of ETH, but they don't have proof of reserve, they lose all the ETH, everybody knows all the ETH, that's done.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, how does AI come in the equation? Do you think that AI is serves as a powerful tool when it comes to your capabilities on protecting, since we're in the topic of crypto exchanges, on protecting these crypto exchanges, or does AI actually causes some sort of like threats, if you will, to the industry, to the blockchain industry, whatever it is,
I would
or present new challenges?
In terms of cybersecurity, it's about automation and speed. So, and continuous testing. So it's just it's improving the skill set of both cybersecurity companies and hackers.
Yeah.
And which is more important, and hackers. So I think in terms of the finding new threats, maybe and finding new vulnerabilities, of course, it's changing our industry, but not drastically. it's not something that like revolutionize our industry, to be honest. In terms of the scams and tools, AI tools in the hands of scammers and social engineering, obviously this is way worse, and we're gonna see way more people losing money and funds because of the AI than it was before.
Okay. What's a weekly meeting at Hacken looks like? What do you guys talk about?
Revenue,
That's a given.
yeah, token price, revenue.
Present me those papers. Yeah.
No, I mean, like Hacken is a big company. We made a recent
How many employees? Over 100?
130.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we have recent restructuring, trying to shift down more responsibilities to senior management. And one of the things I like is that we have gathered all the small projects, all the AI projects, and,
Right.
under one new department, and we call it Special Operations Department, and so that it can quickly take on all the
Right.
most difficult tasks and engagements and deliver fast.
Okay. Where do you see Hacken in 5 years from now?
I still believe that Hacken will do services, but the idea is that I want to grow Hacken service arm the way, like the big four way, the big three way, big four way, let's say Deloitte. So I would like to have one global company which is responsible for the quality control, for global marketing, global research, for the branding, and to have the original in semi-independent partnerships. So, for example, Hacken Mina, which has majority ownership within the local partners. And like, for example, global company has 30%, 40% stake. And the Hacken Mina pays also some percentage to franchise fees for the quality controls and stuff that we do. And to have this network all over the globe, obviously, that's to have our token utilized for sure in this network, that people can set up the Hacken branch if they are long-term token holders, if they pass certain controls over it. And Hacken as a global company is focusing on the product side, that we also supply to all these branches that strengthen their position in the competition.
Okay. Now you were just talking about, the utilities of the token, of the Hacken token, and the tokenization of that token. How do you view the aspect of tokenizing real world assets affecting traditional finance, and how is that related to cybersecurity?
Yeah, it's all about where is liquidity.
Because it's quite trendy now in Dubai as well. You hear that a lot with real estate, especially.
I mean, it's all about liquidity. So why why the traditional stock market exchanges, some of are liquid and everybody wants to be there, or some are not? Because there is a pool of investors to whom you can sell your product on the secondary market, and they will be excited to trade it. The same in crypto space. So we have top, like, I don't know, 10 exchanges where it is liquidity and where people are trading their trading assets, and that's why the tokens worth something. While right now we still don't have proper secondary liquidity market for the RWA projects, but essentially I think we will have. It's less speculative, which creates certain obstacle to attract new liquidity. But I think once we'll have futures and options on RWA assets on the first big platforms, then the liquidity will be there, and then we'll see a new wave of liquidity shift.
Right. Okay. Now we've spent the last 25 minutes talking about tech stuff, cybersecurity. We spoke about the journey of Hacken. I want to get a bit personal right now, get to know you on a personal level. What's a day in the life of Dyma looks like? What time do you wake up? What do you do? How do you manage to overlook a company, a global company rather, with 130 employees worldwide?
All right. So I have, I have 2 kids. I have wife and 2 kids, beautiful wife and 2 kids. They all go to one school, and my kids' school bus comes. It's our building that we live at 7:50 in the morning.
Right, I love the details.
Which is amazing. So I usually go with my kids to the school bus, and then on the way home I go to the gym and do around like 45 minutes exercise. Because most of the team is located in Europe, so my first calls with the team start approximately around like 12 p.m. local time. So this time before 12 p.m. I have to fix my emails, fix my Telegram, which is always in a mess, and do some work, do some research, and do some preparation for the meetings with the team. I usually walk to the office, so it takes me 22 minutes.
I'm guessing during winter.
I walked in September as well. I think people
September
get used.
is still all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I moved in September, but I enjoy it. It's like walking. I love learning new culture, and currently it's Ramadan months, and
we were just talking about it. Yeah, you're fasting.
Yeah, I'm following. It's I used to do the 12 years in a row Christian fasting, Christian Orthodox, and I would say Ramadan is harder, I love learning new culture, and I'm enjoying.
Amazing. I'm glad that you're like observing, Ramadan and fasting, as you said, learning about, other religions and other cultures is very intriguing, for the brain, you know what I mean? I've put together some rapid fire questions. They're either going to be a yes or no questions or like a one-word answer. They have to do with the blockchain space. So I'm going to start off with the first one. What's the most underrated aspect of blockchain security?
Costs.
Okay, cool. Smart contracts or blockchain protocols? Which is more challenging to audit?
Protocols.
Okay. Your go-to resource for staying up to date when it comes to blockchain security news?
Our ATH security group in Telegram.
Okay. A blockchain project you admire for its security practices?
Uniswap.
Which blockchain ecosystem do you think is the most secure?
Bitcoin.
Okay. What is the biggest misconception people have about blockchain security?
That we make millions.
And last but not least, will blockchain ever be completely secure? Or is it a continuous battle?
It's continuous battle.
Okay, cool. Now, you've just mentioned that blockchain is the most secure.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is the most secure blockchain out there. Are you more of a Bitcoin or an Ethereum guy?
No, I'm more Ethereum guy, for sure. It's like...
How do you view both security practices?
No, I think Bitcoin obviously is not that complicated, and doesn't have smart contracts, so it's not comparable. It's like compare the complexity of Alibaba and like Tetris.
Right.
So So I'm an Ethereum guy in the way that I love the initial innovation.
Okay.
I don't like what is happening right now with Ethereum Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like what is happening with the L2s. I don't know how they're gonna change the situation, because right now obviously all the L2s, they cannibalized Ethereum Foundation, and it looks like there is no way back. Like they will utilize Ethereum security and pay peanuts for that,
Mm-hmm.
and the liquidity already moved to L2s, and it doesn't look like it wants to go back. So, and obviously the Ethereum network is having a hard time because of that. But generally, yeah, I believe in Vitalik. And,
Right. Okay.
uh,
From a security point of view, or from an investment point of view?
from the ideology, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
not from security point of view. Obviously, after that smooth merge from the POW to POS, it's like these guys, they can do miracles. We all have to appreciate how smoothly it went.
Right.
From the investment point of view, yeah, we are like most of my assets, they are in ETH, and I'm a little bit upset, but I'm not selling.
Okay. What's your thought on the news that Trump put out yesterday about the reserves for? I mean, he didn't mention Ethereum. It was just Bitcoin, Solana,
No, he did.
ADA,
No, he mentioned Solana, ADA,
XRP.
and XRP, and then he added another Twitter and BTC and ETH, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, in the beginning I thought like, oh, interesting. Is it because ETH is founded by Canadians? But I really like. I want to keep it to myself, but I think the whole thing gonna end up not very
In a mess.
good, in a mess.
Okay. Now, in the debate between layer 1 and layer 2 solutions, how do you assess their, respective vulnerabilities in the market and strengths from a security point of view? Just talking about Ethereum, L2, and
Oh, I mean, if you talk about L1, so it's all about how battle tested is the network. Obviously, Solana, you remember like 3 years ago when they had first big spikes in volume and transactions, like it was down, and everybody was like, joking, Solana is not working again. But now, as you can see, Solana is doing a perfect job. It's like it's a battle tested network already.
yeah.
It doesn't happen to a lot of other L1s yet. Even like we saw what happened with Ton network. It simply couldn't work right now with huge amount of the blockchain taps. But who knows? Like this challenge that they have right now, perhaps they're gonna overcome it, and in future, Ton blockchain will be the next big thing.
Yeah. Is there a Web3 project in the security space that you admire, even if you're not associated with it?
I like the financial audits of the DeFi protocols, which is done by Gauntlet and Chaos Labs.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think this is really top-notch analytics, while they can model not just the behavior of smart contracts, but also economical behavior of market participants.
Right. What advice, if someone is building up in the Web3 space, what advice would you offer young entrepreneurs, startup, especially when it comes to integrating strong cybersecurity measures?
The advice is to start speaking with the potential security partner from the day zero, and because just to do a smart contract audit does not give you a shield that you're unhackable. Like it can come from a lot of different unexpected situation. It can come from the poor operational security over your private keys. It comes from poor education of your employees when they get social engineered. It could come from the poor DevOps that you hired for because you didn't have money to hire in-house one and a good one. So yeah, the security and there are like companies who can help us that you don't and they do a proper job. So talking to them from the day zero is the right approach.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for driving up all the way from Abu
Thank
Dhabi
you.
to be part of the show. I look forward to seeing you at the Unchained Summit. Don't forget, guys, 28th, 29th of April, the very first edition of the Unchained Summit. Dyma is going to be there alongside some, top leaders in the space. The conversations that we're going to be having on stage are going to be epic. So don't miss it out. If you just want to attend, purchase your own ticket. If you want to be a part of it as a vendor, exhibitor, if you're an influencer, a media personality, want to be a part of the Unchained Summit, you can log on to unchainedsummit.com and you'll find out all the details. Would you like to maybe look at the camera and say last few words to the people?
Contact us through the website, and we will always be happy to help pro bono. Like a lot of people contacted me. I'm always responsive in Telegram and Twitter. So feel free.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Dyma. Appreciate it.
Thank you.